Other news today, I know you guys saw it, Kalen Russell coming in. This is kind of the quintessential piece of this recruiting class. 6'3", 182 pounds out of Duncanville. Duncanville still playing in the Texas playoffs in the 6A quarterfinals right now. He's a consensus 5-star, really that cornerstone piece. What trips me out about this, 7,000 yards in 2 seasons, 87 touchdowns, and only 5 interceptions. A lot of playmaking ability. I think he compares to Jaden Daniels. I've seen that said before, and I honestly think that he is going to compete for that starting position. Michael Carroll also in for the Alabama Crimson Tide, 6'6", 315 pounds, big, nasty, imposing interior guard. And if you're just joining us again, Derek Meadows did commit to the Alabama Crimson Tide. Look up at the top. We got a message pinned. This guy's, there are some highlights here that he is just burying dudes, like throwing guys. He played on the defensive side of the ball as well. I think that he could also make a starting run at the guard position for Alabama. That's why I would have loved to see Ty Haywood come in. But I think there'll be a transfer portal addition to the right tackle for Alabama Crimson Tide. Where's the 5-star guys on defense? Well, here you go. Dejon Lee, 6'3", probably closer to 6'4" out of Mission Viejo. Really good high school football out there. Number 4 corner in the nation. Does not get beat over top. And you look at the guys who are young coming back to the Alabama secondary. Xavier Brown, also from California. We're not sure on Damani Jackson. We've talked a lot about that. Red Morgan got some playing time. Jalen Ibakwe, Zay Mincy, right? Roll Tide Probs asking, do I think that Ryan will stay all 4 years in college? No. I think he'll stay 3, and then I think he'll be a first-round pick in the NFL draft. Some people were saying that he could be one of the top picks in this next year's draft as just a freshman. I don't know about that, but he's you're seeing what I've seen. Ryan Williams, I've never seen plays like anybody like making like that. 4-star Jackson Lloyd out of Carmel, California, number 33 player in the nation at the offensive tackle. This guy's really athletic. Plays basketball, plays baseball. I saw him throw down a nasty dunk on social media, probably one of the sleeper additions, but a couple guys that I want to get to. And I do have highlights of these guys. I showcased those earlier. A.K. Deer out of Mississippi, the number 1 running back in the state of Mississippi. And Mississippi had some guys this year, number 52 player in the nation. He is the only running back that Alabama will take this season or in this recruiting class. I doubt that Alabama goes to the transfer portal for a running back. Jace Calarizio flipped to Michigan earlier this morning, but think about it. I think Jam comes back. I think Justice Haynes comes back. Richard Young comes back. Daniel Hill, Kevin Riley, A.K. Deer. It's a healthy running back room. So maybe you didn't need 2 running backs to the class. I don't know. But A.K. Deer, absolutely a baller, 6 foot, 200 pounds, has that next level speed. All right, so you got Justin Hill. Coach Kalen DeBoer was very excited to talk about Justin Hill. Now, think about this. Alabama's coaching staff is being able to go into Cincinnati. Really, his city is like Coach DeBoer said it's like 30 minutes from Columbus. So you basically went into Columbus, took a Ohio State lean, got him here, and look, he doesn't look this big in this photo right here, but this guy's bigger than Freddie Roach. And if you've seen Coach Freddie Roach is a big man, okay? He's a defensive line coach, and Justin Hill is bigger than him, right? 30 sacks. He's a headhunter. And I'll tell you what, we looked at his highlight tape earlier today. Ivan Taylor, who is really the only true prospect that is a signee from the state of Florida. I know Michael Carroll out of IMG. I still list him as a prospect from Pennsylvania. I find that interesting. I'm an analytical type person. Ivan Taylor will come up and absolutely hit you, okay? Pops played in the league, very physical. This was a big get. He originally committed to Notre Dame, then he committed to Michigan, and then eventually he signs with the Alabama Crimson Tide. Yeah, and you're right, Chris. This is Alabama fans. See, I said this earlier on my show. Alabama fans always get to open up their Christmas presents early. With signing day now being moved up, you guys are getting your presents early on December 4th. Like, these are the good presents, right? And you look at Alabama's secondary next year, let's say Xavier Brown, Damani Jackson, Devontae Smith, he can come back, Keon Sabb, Bray Hubbard. I like it, right? Jalen Ibakwe, probably make a push for one of those starting spots as well at that corner position if Damani Jackson does go out. You have Dejon Lee coming in. You have Ivan Taylor. Secondary, and you needed some guys in the secondary because there was a mass exodus in the secondary. 8:22 up in the house. We're recapping the signing day class. We'll go back at the top and talk about Derek Meadows. We appreciate you guys being here. Drop a thumbs up on this video. Derek Meadows has committed to Alabama Crimson Tide. Let me highlight a couple of these guys. Go back and recap on Derek Meadows. This is a four-star cornerback. Don't forget about Chuck McDonald. Chuck McDonald played at the same high school as Bryce Young, okay? 6 foot, 185 pounds. He's a thumper, really physical player. Picked Bama over USC. Again, one of those 6 prospects that signed from California with the Alabama Crimson Tide, also offered by Oregon. Darrell Duke Johnson, 6'5", 204 pounds, out of Georgia. Georgia is a state that you need to continue to work. Same thing with Florida. I get it. Bringing in the California guys, I'm all for it. The Texas guys, but we can't lose sight of the in-state guys, and we can't lose sight of the guys in Georgia or in Florida. These guys can absolutely play. There's a lot of people that, if you don't know about Darrell Johnson, look him up. This guy can play all over the field. Really important. Look, he played quarterback and running back. He's coming in as a linebacker. Caleb Edwards, 6'6", 235 pound. He's a tight end. Another guy out from California, number 8 tight end in the country, picked Alabama over UCLA out of Oak Ridge High School, also offered by Washington. Look, out of all the guys I'm excited to see in this class, and I get it, this Cavante Henry is a JUCO guy, a JUCO edition. You also have Stephen Bua, who's a JUCO edition. Cavante Henry, we looked at his highlight tapes earlier. Yo, I think that, look, Quay Rusa is that guy at the Wolf position, but Cavante Henry adds a lot of depth immediately. He's got 2 more years of eligibility. And what's interesting is he's being recruited as a bandit. So they're going to have to put some more weight on him. You probably want your bandit to be like 275 pounds. If he can retain that same athleticism that he has, man. And look, I know we're all waiting for Keon Keeley to hit the portal, and who knows, he might not. I have no idea. But those are the type of bandit players, right? Snowman 76, I agree, man. You got to take care of the state of Alabama. A lot of people have different opinions about your home state, recruiting in-state. I think that you have to go heavy on the state of Alabama. That's something that Coach Saban did. I want to continue. I want to see that change next year. But, so far with the guys that you brought in, I like the class. This guy, Latsier Brooks. He's got speed to burn. I was playing his highlight tape earlier, and people were like, yo, that's Cheetah. I don't even know how many touchdowns this guy scored in New Jersey, but he broke the touchdown record. He's a slot-type wide receiver. In fact, he was on ESPN not once, but twice, okay, for making exceptional catches. So Latsier Brooks, 4-star out of New Jersey. I know that makes Chris from New Jersey happy. You got Michael DeBose. Here's your Alabama in-state prospect. You have him in Mal Waldrop. Did Mal Waldrop, did he sign today? Yeah, okay, so Mal Waldrop did sign. 6'4", 335 pounds. I'll always remember when Micah DeBose, they were having a recruiting meeting this summer, and the person who introduced Micah DeBose was Ryan Williams. And then up at the podium, do you remember this? Micah DeBose got up on stage and was like, I'm rolling Tide, and everybody went crazy. I'm sure you guys don't know yet about Marshall Pritchett. I played his highlights earlier today. 6 foot, yeah, I think he's 6'6". That's what he has listed on his X account. He's the number 21 tight end. Sleeper alert, okay? He's long, he's right. I kind of like him as a wide receiver. I'm not going to lie, okay? So you look to your wide receivers. If Derek Meadows is now the tallest wide receiver, then Marshall Pritchett is the same size or kind of right there. And you've seen Coach Kalen DeBoer when he was at Washington. He has some wide receivers that are taller, right? A little bit lankier. And you do have your wide receivers who are at that 6 foot range, 6'1", 6'2", or whatever, like a Ryan Williams. So it's a good mix of wide receivers in terms of the height differential. Luke Metz, out of all the guys, this guy was 1,000,000% committed to Alabama. His family, he's like a Georgia legacy. And he has pictures with Kirby Smart. This guy was Roll Tide. This guy probably wanted to be a part of Alabama more than anybody else in the class. I'm serious. Like, look it up. This guy was 1,000,000% Roll Tide. And he's a damn good linebacker, too, and he's got good size. 6'2", 225 pounds, okay? Stephen Bua. This is an interesting story. Originally from Cameroon, then went to Quebec, only speaks French, right? So when he came in, he had to brush up on his skills, speaking English, because he was in the class of 2024, stepped out, went to Southwest Mississippi Community College. Where is that, T? I have no idea where that's at. Stayed committed to Alabama, freshened up on his English skills in Mississippi, and now he's coming back. This is another guy, right? I love I love the guys who are from different countries. Like we got a guy, Olas Alanen, he's from Finland. James Burnham, he's from Australia. Stephen Bua, I guess we say he's from Quebec, right? Friendly neighbor to the north. Who else is from a different country? I know there's a couple guys. No, we said Alanen. Justin Okoronkwo.
He's German.
Yeah, Justin Okoronkwo. Learn that name, okay? Yeah. Abdul Sanders, another guy out of the state of California, 6'1", 225 pounds, picked Alabama over Oklahoma out of Mater Dei. Mater Dei, that's the same high school as Bryce Young. Yeah, you're right, Matt. Inside the comment box, Okoronkwo is from Germany. In fact, Coach Saban said that if Justin Okoronkwo played in the United States football, that he would have been a 5-star linebacker. Oh, yeah. He played this year. For sure. London Simmons. This guy is out of Mississippi. Mississippi had a lot of players this year that were high-level players. He's a 3-star defensive lineman. It is very difficult to get defensive linemen. 6'2", 305 pounds out of Flowood, Mississippi. Mal Waldrop, as we spoke about, out of Phoenix City. Number 44 offensive or interior offensive lineman out of the country, picked Alabama out of Clemson. Those are your two in-state prospects, Micah DeBose and Mal Waldrop. And then Alex Osperoff is a 3-star punter, Derek Meadows, who has committed to the Alabama Crimson Tide, flipping from LSU. This is a gigantic get. We were excited about what could be with Derek Meadows when things started kind of heating up with him flipping to Alabama. And here it is today. And I'll say it one more time. The catalyst to all of this was Dave Portnoy linking up with a billionaire who's a Michigan fan who was able to get $12 million to Bryce Underwood over 4 years to flip from LSU to Michigan. Well, Derek Meadows wants a quarterback. He wants a 5-star quarterback. And that's when things started heating up back to Alabama. So look, Barstool, the Presidente, playing a role in this, whether you want to say it or not. And he's a 4-star that has just flipped from LSU to Alabama. So let's look at his highlights one more time. This guy brings it, 6'6". He's a 4-star wide receiver. And you have to be excited about Kalen Russell coming in. And if you're a wide receiver, offensive lineman, really, I think if you're a member of this recruiting class, think about this. The number one player in the state of Texas is the foundational. Holy shit. Kalen with the $200 super chat. We're opening Christmas presents. And here we go. Kalen with the super chat of $200. My goodness, man. You just became the fan sponsor. Jeffrey in with $199. Speechless in with $199 because he's got Alabama basketball taking on North Carolina basketball in 15 minutes. Alabama, I think, is favored by 2.5 in that game. But as we're watching Derek Meadows highlights, and by the way, thank you so much, Case. I appreciate it, man. You just became the main sponsor. The title sponsor of this show is brought to you by Case. But I think Kalen Russell being the absolute cornerstone of this class and the foundational piece of Alabama class of 2025 tells you the direction that Coach Kalen DeBoer is going, right? It's going to take some time. Look, if they don't get a 5-star quarterback, whatever, right? It's disappointing, but you're talking about the number one quarterback that Coach Kalen DeBoer was able to go and get. That sends a monumental statement. It really does. And I know, let's see if I can still keep this up in the frame. So Kalen DeBoer did an amazing job piecing this incredible recruiting class together. If you're missing it, Derek Meadows here at the bottom right did end up signing with the Alabama Crimson Tide. there's been a lot of things that haven't gone Coach Kalen DeBoer's way in this first year. There's probably not a lot of men that could weather the storm that he's gone through, playing in the gauntlet. Some things haven't gone right. Some things, they've lost games. They've looked like crap at times. Overall, they are a playoff team, at least in the latest bracket. But one of the things that I was thinking about is when you zoom out on Coach Kalen DeBoer, right, and you're just talking recruiting, the very first player that he was able to sign was Ryan Williams, who's a 5-star. And the very first player that he was able to sign, Keelan Russell signed this morning, is another 5-star from the state of Texas, right? Your quarterback and your wide receiver, the foundational pieces of the absolute class of 2025.